Today we're going to take this 1917 Enfield and we're going to do a very thorough bore cleaning on it. The cool thing about some of these older surplus guns is sometimes you'll think the barrel is shot out. The rifling doesn't look so good. And it's usually just needs a real good cleaning. So we're going to go through a cycle. We're going to run the bore brush through it. 10 to 20 strokes. We're going to go 10 to 20 patches and repeat until we get this thing shiny bright. And I'll kind of show you the progress as we go along. And hopefully when we're done, this thing looks like brand new. So here I've got some hops number 9. And I'm just going to wet this patch with the hops number 9. I'm using a Q-tip so I don't contaminate the whole jar of hops number 9 here. I'm just going to get the patch wet. Put that on my jag. And I'm just going to run this down the bore. Starting here at the breech end. That patch should be pretty tight, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get it started. I'm going to kind of tap it, get that thing pushed all the way through. There we go. Push that all the way through the bore. And I'm using a coated rod so I don't scratch or damage the bore. And start at this end, I won't damage the crown either. Alright, here I'm just running a patch. I've soaked a patch with hops number 9. I'm just running it down the bore of this 1917. It's a pretty tight fitting patch. We'll see what it looks like as it comes out. There it is. And you can see the amount of fouling. You see that little green tint? That's definitely copper. So I'm at 10 patches now, and they're still just as dirty as the first one. I'm going to keep running patches through it until they start to clean up. We'll see how long this takes. All right, I've ran several patches with that hops number 9 down the bore, and each one was wet, so I just let them sit. Now I'm going to run a brush down the bore. Let me see what else we can loosen up. I'm just going to take several strokes through this. I'm kind of using my hand here to guide it. I do have a guide that pops in there, another hops device. But as long as I'm not scraping the side of the bore, I'm going to be fine. I'm using a coated rod. It's not going to damage the barrel at all. And this brass brush is not going to damage the rifling at all. I made take about maybe 10-15 more strokes. Kind of loosen up whatever's in that bore. And we'll run some more patches through it. We'll stop there. And what I've been doing, I've been cutting these patches to size, just using my scissors. Wetting them with the hops. I really haven't found anything that worked better than hops. I guess everybody has their own favorite, based on opinion, obviously. Some guys feel more comfortable with different solvents, but for these older rifles that I work on, most of them are carbon fouled up, so that hops works just fine. Now we'll run this wet patch through after brushing, and we'll see what comes out the other end. Again, this is kind of a tight patch, so it's taking a little bit of effort to push it through. I'll move the camera, and we'll see what's coming out the other end. I'll just move the camera over there. We'll get some good lighting there. How's that? Get some good lighting, and we'll see how dark and ugly that patch is. What are we pushing? There you go. That's pretty nasty. We'll take a look at that. That's what's in that bore. And you can see how many patches we got piled up now, and we're still getting a lot of dirt out. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing, and just gonna be repetition. Eventually we're gonna get a clean patch, and then we'll call it good. Here's kind of a tip for you. I'm just running these white patches through the bore, and I'm cutting them down to size so and I've done this, like I've done a whole bunch of patch stuff, so now I kind of have an idea of how big to make the patches. So I've got my old pair of Wiss scissors here, and I'm just gonna cut these to size so I get an exact size to match the bore and the bore and the cleaning rod. If you don't have a scissors that can cut a pair of patches without folding or bending in the patch and just cut it, you need to get yourself an older antique pair of whisks like these. These things are, it says Wiss Inlaid, and it's got a nice little picture of an anvil on the side. I picked these up at the used tool shop, and I'm really glad I did. All right, I've been running several patches through this now, and we're just going to go with a dry patch this time. We're getting pretty clean. We'll see what it looks like when it comes out. There we go. How's that looking? Quite a big improvement from earlier. We start looking where we are now. We're just about there. That's not a bad patch. When we compare that to some of the earlier ones, huge difference. Maybe one or two more. We should call it good. So I'm going to try to take a video here down the bore. We'll see if this works. See if you can see. I don't think it's going to work, but that is now all we're seeing is that light. Not picking up very well, is that? But anyway, now that we've run about 35 patches through there, that bore is mirror bright, and we're going to call this job done.